Hey, Drew,
Yeah.
why do Mandalorians always win a street race?
Why?
Because they have the best car. Ha
That was a good one. That was a good one. I didn't use that one. Wow, that was a good one. Did you make that up or did someone?
I Googled it.
You Googled it?
There's all kind of like Mandalorian gym jokes. It's like, this is the way, but it's WHEY.
Yeah, everyone's spamming the meme, get out. So, yeah, spam that. Well, I guess not everyone has it. They also have Subgame.
Everyone, welcome back to another Mandalorian-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back after 2 years, over 2 years.
Has it really been that long?
I believe it was 2020.
No.
December 2020, because remember we had the Book of Boba Fett end thing? It was like Christmas next year. And so then they delayed it by like a week after Christmas, but like that was last January was when Book of Boba Fett started. So that was a year after Mandalorian, because 2019 was the first season, then a year later it was 2020, and so here we are, over 2 years later. We got Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1, a.k.a. Chapter 17, The Apostate. And we're back.
What a name.
You don't like the name?
You should have had a prostate joke.
Apostate joke? Well, that's a little too religious for that, but because it is a religious term meaning someone who like abandons the faith or becomes like a heretic or whatever. But
oh, I thought you meant like my prostate's going out.
What kind of show do you think this is? People are like just turning into us for the first time because it's a new season and they're gonna hear all this joke. So The Apostate, 2 years later. So welcome back to all of our fans that kind of really only listen to us from the Mandalorian days, because it's been a lot has changed in the past 2 years. Andrew is no longer part of the podcast. Unfortunately,
let's not talk about that too much.
He resigned and he's becoming a famous YouTuber on his own.
True. Follow his YouTube channel.
That K-pop guitarist. Check it out.
He has custom pics and everything.
And so it's it's just me and Drew now.
Yep, holding the fort.
Hold down the fort. And so, well, if you're new to the podcast, if you've never tuned in, it's your first time listening, what we're going to do is we just do scene-by-scene breakdowns of every episode, and we just discuss it and talk about it, do theories. You'll hear some commercials of some fun stuff.
True.
And normally at the end of every episode, we do voicemails. If you want, you can send in voicemails that ask us any questions, whatever, or do comments or whatever. But we only do that once a week, so we'll be doing that probably on Bad Batch episode.
Today? I thought we decided to do it today.
I don't remember hearing you saying that.
Yeah, we definitely,
because this will be a longer. The Mandalorian episodes will be longer. This podcast, so we want to shorten it by adding it to the Bad Batch episodes, which are usually
and
shorter
I saw
episodes.
that the one voicemail came in was from Addie, so I'm pretty sure that had everything to do with the Bad Batch.
Yes, she's. Spoiler alert, she's very upset at you.
Let's go. I'm ready for the scene already. Let's go.
But if you want to hear that crazy stuff tomorrow, let's tune in tomorrow or the next time we record, which is tomorrow, but upload will be in a couple of days for the Bad Batch breakdown from this week, which also came out today. We'll have the voicemail section on that one, so we'll have plenty of discussion for that.
Maybe we should, because we're having two different shows come out, Jeremiah, maybe we should have, if the voicemail is about the episode of Mando, maybe
we could do that. We could do that, but as of
because week one is probably going to be a little bit of both, and that gives you another day to send in voicemails too.
Yes,
I guess technically.
But yes,
My Ninja Turtle
but
fell over. I got scared.
but no voicemails tonight.
All right, that's fine.
But we're here for the Mandalorian.
True.
Tons of hype coming into this season. A lot of excitement.
True.
And you just finished your watch party. So if you want to watch Drew do a watch party, he goes live on Twitch just before we do the podcast recording. And then he'll upload also to YouTube when we're done.
Yes. So if you're listening to this or you're on YouTube watching this, just scroll down or up or whatever, find it.
Just sync it up with the episode, and he has a counter on it, so you just sync it up with the episode and watch with him.
Yeah.
But Drew, you just finished watching it. What are your overall thoughts of this opener for season 3?
I don't know if it is because it's new. I don't know if this is because it's Mando. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. And it could be like I was watching, I'm like, do I just love this because it's been 2 years apparently? I didn't even realize it. I guess Book of Boba kind of threw off that timeline for me a little bit. But it's like, is it because it's been 2 years, or is it because the hype around it is so good? I don't know, but I loved this episode. I thought it was really good. I thought they tied in some things. I really wish they would have started back as a little flashback to that after they arrested Moff Gideon, but it's okay. They kind of briefly, he told us what happened allegedly, kind of. So it kind of fixed that problem a little bit. And I like that they didn't technically kill off Cara Dune. So if Disney begs and pleads, maybe they'll bring her back. I don't know.
There was a rumor.
There's a rumor
last summer, but I don't think
I don't even think she I listened to a podcast that she was on. I don't think you can just look it up. I'm not gonna even shout out this person because they don't need any help at all. But she was on a podcast and it seemed like she didn't really have any interest at all to ever work with Disney ever again. So I don't think that's gonna be a thing. And honestly, she's not the best actor. So
yeah, she was good in fight scenes. But
besides that, I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about her character. Yeah, so I'm okay that she's not there in that sense. So yeah, so I think what they did with her character and the way they said it was pretty well done. And honestly, maybe their plan was for her to do this other show anyways. That's supposed to be the same timeline, and she wasn't potentially not even going to be in the show anyways, this season. And then all that stuff happened. They kicked her out. So yeah, it's been that long.
Yeah.
So was that before or right as soon as COVID happened? When
it was fall 2020 when season 2 came. Well, would have been November because it was just 8 episodes, so it brought us to the end of the year. I feel like it was the 26th of December was the last episode because it was the day after Christmas or something like that, or whatever it was. But yeah, it's been over 2 years.
Dang. Well.
And speaking of, go ahead.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was saying, speaking of 2 years, there's a little controversy about when this season starts up, because Jon Favreau apparently said at one point that Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. But he was interviewed in the red carpet or whatever last night or something.
Yeah.
They a clarification on this. And he kind of jumbled back and forth. And he's anywhere from 0 to 2 years he was with Luke. So it's like here in Minnesota when they say in the weather we're gonna get anywhere from 2 to 20 inches of snow. It doesn't. And so, it could have been for an extended period of time. I kind of just figured it was maybe a few months, 3-4 months, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's.
But
I mean, if
I'm guessing it was still that.
I don't know though, because if you look at
well, Book of Boba Fett would have picked up right after season 2, and so that was at least probably a 2-month span of him going back to Tatooine, setting things up.
True, but then you gotta also think, right? That planet. Why am I spacing?
Navarro.
Navarro is so different from even last season.
Right. So there's been quite a bit of time for them to like build the city up and for people to move in and for them to be a part of a trading system and such.
Yeah,
So
like
like,
they're
so I'm
on the
guessing
map.
from Book of Boba Fett to now, I could say maybe it's been like a year. So with, the span of, maybe 2-3 months before he picked up Grogu again when he was with Luke. So we could be over a year. We could be a year and a half since end of season 2. So it kind of makes sense when he says 0 to 2 years. It's kind of a little ambiguous.
Star Wars years too. You never know exactly the timeline for anything.
Right. So but that's kind of like what we're sitting at. So
okay, speaking of Jon Favreau, real quick, did he do the voice of the Heavy Mandalorian?
probably.
It didn't sound like it. It sounded different.
I didn't
And I
really look
asked
at
the chat, and they were like, "Yes, he sounds different."
I didn't look at the
Will look it up
credits
for me quick.
because all it was he said this is the way and then said get out of the way, kid, or something like that when he
And he hip
jetpacked
checked
right
them.
into the kid.
Oh, the
Welcome
boy
to the
hip checked.
Mandalorian. This is the way. Hip check.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so.
overall I love this episode. I thought it was good. It built up the show, and like we kind of already know what's going to happen through the show and like what's the goal in the show, which I think that's cool.
I don't know. I'm going after watching this episode. I'm a little more hesitant to say like what's actually going to happen. I think it's a little bit more ambiguous now.
Well, I'm curious to see why or hear why you're saying that. So I'm excited for this breakdown.
Here's my overall thoughts of the episode. I really liked it, but it was just very like it was different than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be more so hitting ground running, like just going straight to the point. But he's kind of like regrouping it. He's like, I need to get a new droid. I gotta go to this place. I gotta go to this place. So it wasn't as to the point as I thought it was going to be,
fleshed
but
out as you thought it was going to be.
Right, but like I guess it's the first episode of the season. You got to set stuff up for a million storylines that you're going to do. So the reason why I don't think it's as clear cut for the plot that we thought was going to happen is because this whole pirate thing. Now we know there were these raiders or pirates or something from the trailer. Like we saw this, and
yeah,
so like we knew that was going to be part of it. But like it's almost setting up like the pirates are going to be the primary antagonist or villains for the season. I feel like they're going to focus more on that than I feel like this Mandalorian stuff, like going back to the planet, the Mandalore. I feel like that's just going to be done within the next, 2-3 episodes, and then we're going to have the rest of the season,
interesting,
where there's going to be more because I can't.
Well, if you think of if you remember the trailer, they destroy that planet and the Mandalorians come. And there's a point in the trailer where the Mandalorians land there and they start shooting and doing stuff. And when we first watched that trailer, we were thinking that they did that to get their planet back. But what if he does go bathe, clean, go back there? That place is overran by pirates, and then he goes and gets the Mandalorians because he's good now, and they all go and get the planet back.
That's why I'm guessing that.
So there's like a couple things that I didn't. One of them is kind of dumb, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I didn't like how short the episode was. I thought for like season 1, episode 1, or season 3, episode 1, you would think it would be a little longer than 37 minutes.
I was prepared for it because that was the rumor that it was only 35 minutes or 36 minutes, or whatever it was. Like, so like
it is technically only 30 because it was like literally 4.5 minutes of like credits. So that was kind of a bummer when I woke up this morning at like 5. Dude, I always have a hard time sleeping when Mando drops. I don't know why. Like, I'm not gonna go and watch it at 5, but every part of my being wants to. And now, like, I'll look at my phone and be like, "Dang, it was only 37 minutes." And I'm like, "Oh, it's 5 right now. Should I just do the watch party right now?" But no one's gonna be in there. But should I just do it? Like, I was like debating for an hour, and then all of a sudden my alarm went off, and I had to go to work. That was my morning, you guys. But and then the other thing was I didn't really like the main pirate guy. I think he kind of looked too Disney.
Yeah, I don't know about Disney. It just looked.
I literally thought I was watching like Pirates of the Caribbean.
It was.
And even the other guy that he's like, I brought him to you, boss. Like even that guy, he was like wearing a pirate like jacket.
Well,
like,
the pirates themselves were fine. Like they looked like pirates, like space pirates. Like they looked like Hondo's crew. Like
do you think it would have been cooler if it was Hondo? I think it would have been cooler if it was Hondo.
Everybody loves Hondo. Everybody wants Hondo, but it would just be too much. Like
I don't think so.
It would distract. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see him.
I think we will be. I don't think we're gonna see him.
But
if we would have saw him, we would already did.
I don't know. I think just whenever we hear about pirates in Star Wars, we automatically think of Hondo. Yeah. So like, I don't know.
And it also, was it just me, or did it seem like Mando's already interacted with these guys before?
Well, they're part of the guild, so like,
oh, true, yeah.
They would have been in and out of the Navarro anyway, so Mando was probably at least familiar with him.
The guy looks like or like Swamp Thing.
Oh, the Pirate King.
Yeah,
Pirate King Goran Shard is his name.
He kind of also looked like
the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but I was gonna say like he even looks like a Muppet. Like,
I don't know about that. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. You know, everybody hates it, but like it's just.
I don't hate it that much, but I can understand. Like, I didn't even know everyone hated it, but I didn't really like the feel of it. It felt Disney.
I don't know what that means. Like, felt Disney.
Like cartoony. It kind of felt like Pirates of the Caribbean to me.
I don't know. It just didn't. We've never seen like that type of character because it was just like I don't even know. Is that like this seaweed skin that just grows off?
That's what I mean.
Like we don't know what that is. It just looks weird.
Like, and like the chat when I was watching like the watch party, they're like, "Why does I feel like I'm watching an episode of Clone Wars?" Like it felt very like cartoony.
I don't know. I was talking to Discord about it. I was just like, I don't like when, like in shows, whether it's whatever show it is, like when they try to mimic a real life thing with like fake things. Like example, like in the Transformers movies, when they would give the robots like hair or like facial hair or something, and it's like all mechanical. Yeah. Like it's just like just trying to make it look like real life things when they're not supposed to be. And so it's like stop trying to humanize them, or I don't know if that's the right word. Like don't make them look like us, like what we know. Just make it like
like
its own unique thing.
He had like a beard and stuff, and it's like
a seaweed beard, just because that's what.
Now am I going to use that as my thumbnail for the watch party? Probably, because it's funky looking and interesting. But yeah, I don't know. That was like my only complaint was like, I was like, it kind of took me out of it, the episode a little bit. And that's always my issue with stuff like that. Like I've said it before in the past, and if you guys are new, there's lots of episodes. But like when there's a part of an episode that kind of brings you out of the episode and you realize that like you're actually watching something, it's kind of hard to explain. But when I'm watching Mando, like I'm in it. Like I feel like I'm in the galaxy. I'm in it. But then when that happened, I'm like, okay, I'm watching a show. You know what I mean? Like it kind of brings you away from the actual thing. And it did that for me a little bit, which I didn't really like. But then the flying part of it, that whole scene leading up to him, that was so cool. It felt like Star Wars. Like we haven't seen a lot of space battles in Mando, like in the last 2 seasons. And I thought that was really cool that like it felt like I was almost watching like episode 3, like the beginning of episode 3 of Star Wars. Like it kind of felt like, you know, when like Anakin and Obi-Wan were like fighting all those droids and stuff, like it kind of felt like that.
Right.
So I like that part. I thought that was really cool. So
yeah.
Well, I think we both. You didn't hate it though. That's good. I kind of thought you were.
I just thought it was different than I expected. That's all.
But I thought you were gonna hate this episode.
I've watched it 3 times though, so
weird flex.
I watched that, and I watched the Bad Batch episode too. So it's like I watched 5 episodes. I watched each one at least twice. So,
dang, okay, bro. Someone had the day off.
I do have Wednesdays off from work. Yes. So, but yes, let's jump into scene by scene.
Yes, scene by scene.
So they did a little bit different. So normally, we get the Star Wars fanfare thing where it's like the flashy, colorful characters, and it's just kind of like they're like theme music for that. Mm-hmm. But while that was going, we were hearing clanking,
which was cool.
What they were overlapping. I'm like, okay, this is cool, whatever. And it's the armorer making armor, obviously, because that's what she does. And like I recognized the location from the trailers. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, like I don't know, whatever. And so she's makes a helmet, and she paints it blue, and she walks out through the cave and out onto a beach with tons of Mandalorians, probably like 30 of them, 40 of them. And there is a young teenager, standing in the water. Now, did it get you? Did it fool you? It fooled me.
Okay, so before you said what you're gonna say, I was like, "Is this a flashback?"
That's what I thought.
Okay, cool. I was the only one.
I mean, like everyone.
After the thing, I was like, "Am I dumb for saying that?" Like in the watch party, I was like, "Is this a flashback?" And then like no one said anything in the chat, and then I mean it's not, but like I was like the whole time like, "Is this a flashback?" I think that's a flashback. Is it? It kind of looked like the kid,
right?
They
did that on purpose just to make us think it was a flashback.
Oh, yeah,
cool. The armor, she's the one that gave him the helmet, and Heavy Mando, Paz Vizsla was there. Like, this is cool. But this was like a lot of these people that were in the Navarro in season 1 and in the underground were the same ones on the beach. I'm like, this is what I was thinking. I was like, cool. This is cool. Flashback. Awesome.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought that.
And then the N1 Starfighter comes out of nowhere with his theme music. I'm like, oh shoot. Yeah. Like, and they cut that scene really weird when the N1 came because I thought 2 of them were there. I thought there was 2 N1 Starfighters at first.
Oh, I didn't catch
that. Because it has the initial when it flies by and shoots it with like some regular blasters. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to the armorer seeing it going by.
Oh, yeah.
So it looked like it was,
you thought it was
2 of them. It's like, oh, maybe it's not Mando. But then you see him, and then
the theme music though.
Right. So I was like, what's going on? But yes, they got me. They got you. They got probably almost everybody.
Yeah.
That
Will in the chat, it got me. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So
that wasn't their intention.
Right. I was very surprised that they had a giant alligator turtle thing.
Well, yeah, you spoiled. Like we didn't get to that part yet, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like it came out.
It scared me. It scared the crap out of me.
Okay, so this is what I thought. So like the kid is reciting the creed or whatever to get initiated in.
Yeah.
And like she says, I from this whatever won't take my helmet off or whatever. And so when he's about to say that, that's when she stops him, and then the alligator comes and she takes it. So he doesn't finish saying it. So this is before Din shows up. So I'm like, oh, he never finished saying the creed, so therefore him taking the helmet off doesn't count because he was never fully initiated in.
I didn't even think that hard.
That's what I was thinking.
That was good.
But how does that work? Like when you're halfway through the ceremony, like, sorry,
I think you gotta redo it.
I don't know. Because he has to take his helmet off.
Yeah. Well, for me, as soon as she said, like, I will never take this off, I was like, my thought is like, do they grow into it? Like, how does it work?
I think they get 2 helmets. I think there's a kid helmet and then there's an adult helmet.
Gotcha. And then they're able to like take it off in private.
Probably, right? Yeah. Yeah. Because in season 1, when Mando's girlfriend that he could have had and fallen in love and taken care of that daughter.
Oh yeah.
She asked him, like, when was the last time someone seen you with your helmet off? And he looks at the kids who are playing outside, and they're like probably a little bit older than them out there, and they're elementary school, and so a little older would have been like early teens or something.
Season 1, episode
4. When I had COVID last week, and
you watched all of them.
I watched all 2 seasons of Mando, and I watched the last 3 episodes of Book of Boba Fett. I had nothing else to do. I'm just sitting home doing nothing. Got COVID.
That's awesome. Gosh, I wish I had COVID.
Oh, no, you don't.
just right there.
But
just for that.
But yeah, I thought that was Din. But then the alligator comes up. I'm like, this is very unexpected because last season was a giant monster too. The crate dragon was the opening season for the season. I'm like,
That's
okay,
true.
I guess we're doing it again. I hope so. Now we know next season 4 there's gonna be probably a big giant monster that's gonna show up.
True.
But yeah, so they just all started attacking, and I don't understand why they think that there's nothing you can do to like fight something like that. It's
okay. Well, the first thing is like they bombed it. I was like, okay, that could help.
They put the grenades on it, or those sticky grenades, on the shell.
Oh, that too. I was like, why? Why wouldn't you put it underneath? Like, go swimming underneath and stick it on its belly.
Or put it on like his head or something. Like blow his head off or something. Like
that one spot. There's one spot in an alligator. If you ever watch Swamp People, that's where they aim to kill them. Like, put it on that one circle spot. They have a soft spot in the top of their head.
But they also have a spot where there's the medulla oblongata. If you've watched Waterboy. The medulla oblongata.
That is a deep cut, bro.
That's where their aggression comes from. So if they didn't blow up that medulla oblongata, then he wouldn't have been so angry.
That
Water
sucks.
It really sucks.
I was like, with the beginning of COVID, when everyone's like, all the kids are going to go back to school, and they're like, well, my mama said, because all the kids are homeschooled.
Waterboy,
go watch it.
It's PG-13 with some crude humor in it, so if you're a kid, you probably shouldn't watch it. But
if you're an adult,
it's from the 90s, so it's funny. Adam Sandler, Waterboy. But anyway, yes, they're fighting this giant alligator, and nothing's working. And
okay, but what annoyed me is when they shot it with their hooks. I was like, y'all dumb.
Okay, I never understood why.
As soon as they did, I'm like, you guys are stupid. Like, what? Were you gonna pull it?
They even did that with the crate dragon to like, they shot ropes and.
True, but that was a little different. It was like spear ropes stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but it was still.
It was
comparative.
But the thing is,
1,000 times bigger than this stupid alligator.
Okay, but true. But the crate wasn't it like hooked onto things, not themselves?
No, it was the ropes. Like they tried. There was some things that were tied down, but they were holding on the ropes, trying to pull it and settle it, like keep it straight. Like
yeah, but this is like, dude, their hand is gonna get one pulled out of its socket. Like it was just such a dumb thing. And then as soon as they did, I'm like, dude, this alligator is gonna roll.
Yeah, he does. Classic.
And he does that, and then I'm like, y'all dumb. You're all dumb. Like you deserve to die right now.
My favorite part was when the guy with the flamethrower is just completely missing, and it's like shooting in air.
Yeah,
good job, guy.
But you know what it shows you though? It shows you that these Mandalorians aren't to par yet.
They're not
like they're not to par. Like how many of these Mandalorians took the creed as an older age?
I don't know.
Because
that's a good question to know. Right? That's a good question to know when, if there's a certain age, right? If you're too old, you can't join. Because it seems like everyone was a foundling.
Yeah, but the thing is, then they would.
But like a foundling would be a child. A foundling, exactly. I don't think a foundling can be an adult. So like, I don't know if an adult can become a Mandalorian.
So were these other Mandalorians that were spread out that they finally got all together?
Right. There's different convents, whatever they call it, where they had hideouts.
Yeah, maybe.
But because most of the people on Navarro were killed, because we see that big pile of armor.
Yeah, and so they said that in Mando or Book of Boba Fett, right? There was only 2 left.
Right. And so that's because she was saying, she said, I'm hoping others were able to escape off planet, but as you can see, most of them were still killed because we see all their armor in the pile. So these are just people from different coverts. That's the word. Coverts from that she found. And so clearly, you know, when it was in the Book of Boba Fett, it was just the 2 of them, the armorer and the heavy Mando. And now they have like 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously that takes time to travel the galaxy trying to find where these People are so, yeah.
But also kind of wondering how Mando knew they're there.
That's the thing that I don't understand about the show. He just knows where people are. Like, he knew where Luke was, like, with Grogu. Like, how does he know? Like, we never understood why he knew that.
Oh, that's true. Forgot about that.
And, like, in Book of Boba Fett also, like, finding the armor before, like, in there, like, when it was just the two of them, like, we know he had clues. So, like, I guess there's just...
Well, the armor was harder, though, to find.
Well, I'm saying either way, he doesn't know where they
were.
I
wonder, though, like he says to Grogu, like, in this episode, like, you have to learn the galaxy and know people, and
I think they must have, like, some sort of, like...
beacon, or...
Like, not beacon, but, like... They lay clues out in certain places to, like, communicate. Because, like, in Book of Boba Fett, when he was looking for them, like, he was able to scan and he saw marks. So, like, they probably have some sort of network set up where, like, if you need to find
on the Halo planet thingy.
Yeah, so, like, that's just whatever. And somehow he knew Bo-Katan was on that planet in that castle. Like, so obviously he could have just asked her, like, at the end of season 2, like, hey, where are you going now? Like, she probably, I'm just going to this other planet. So, like, it could have been that, but he just shows up knowing where she was.
Yeah.
But either way, he shows up.
He probably has trackers on everyone. He put a tracker.
And we never learned how those trackers work either.
He put a tracker under that fireplace that she hauls across the galaxy everywhere she goes.
Maybe.
That thing. But I was thinking about them, like, all right, so they don't have a ship. So she got on a transport with this giant stove metal.
Right. Like, how does she
checked that in as her carry-on?
Yeah, that's also weird.
But whatever.
But yeah, so Mando shows up. He takes one swipe with just the laser blast, and then he comes back around and does, like, I guess a missile or whatever you want to call it.
Under the belly, not on top of him.
Right, on the sides, and it blows up, and there's flesh.
Straight up, there's guts everywhere.
Guts everywhere.
I was like, all right, let's start like this.
So he lands on the beach, and everyone sees him, and then Grogu pops his head up and waves. Hey guys, I'm here. And so that's the opening. But then right after this, Mando goes to talk with the armorer. And so she's still like, you removed your helmet, you're no longer Mandalorian. She's still like, they're probably super upset that a non-Mandalorian saved the day.
No, she was mad that he was there. Like, she was not happy that he saved them.
Right. So,
like, it wasn't a good thing for her.
So he's just saying, like, I'm gonna go back to Mandalore. Like, if I got this stone with, like, a piece of Mandalorian whatever in it, like writing. Like, is this not Mandalorian text? And she comes by and she's curious about it, and she's like, yeah, basically. But it's frozen or fused into some crystallized whatever. And she's like, well, this is from the bombing. Like, it crystallized the entire surface. So it's a green crystal, which we saw a lot of green crystal stuff in the trailer. So, yep, that's Mandalore. That's where we're going for sure. We're going to be there, obviously. But so she was under the impression, and I don't remember them saying this in the flashback in Book of Boba Fett of the Night of 1,000 Tears, but she said the surface was poisoned, and so you can't go back. I remember, like, you can't go back, but I don't ever remember.
No, I don't remember that either. Well, I mean, you watched it literally a week ago, so you should know.
I should probably know, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to that.
I don't remember it either. So
I remember, like, they can't go back, but obviously if it makes sense, like, if you could go back, why wouldn't they, type of thing. So I guess
because
maybe
it was, like, nuked.
Right.
So I mean, I guess, like,
but
that makes sense.
But either way, she's under the impression that it's toxic, poisoned, and you can't go back. But he's like, well, a scavenger came and picked us up, and then the Jawas got it off that guy. So it's like proof that you can go back to the planet and it's still good. And he's like, if I go and find the cave, the living waters under the surface, like, and bathe in it, and I proved that you did. I can be restored based on what the creed says, and she says this is the way. And so, like, she acknowledges the truth of what the creed teaches, and so, or says, and all right, she's on board. Like, she does not happy about it because she's doesn't think that there's any living waters left. But he's like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get it done. And he leaves. And we get this next scene is my favorite part of the whole episode. When they're in hyperspace.
Oh, yeah.
And Grogu's watching, and he looks over, and what does he see? Purrgil, space whales.
Space whales.
That was
pretty cool.
That was my favorite scene of the whole episode. Like, because, like, you don't know what those are unless you've watched Rebels.
Yep.
And so,
go watch Rebels, you guys.
Yep. So these Purrgil are space whales that can travel through hyperspace. And here's the thing. It wasn't just, oh, we're just going to put that in there because it's cool.
Nope. The
reason they put that in there was to tease Thrawn stuff.
Yep.
Because Thrawn and Ezra at the this is spoilers if you haven't watched Rebels. Spoilers. But Thrawn and Ezra were in a Star Destroyer. I think it was a Star Destroyer, maybe it was something else, but they're in an Imperial ship. When the Purrgil come, they attach to the ship and they hit hyperspace, and Ezra and Thrawn disappear in the hyperspace. Mm-hmm. And from Ahsoka saying, when we meet her in Mando season 2, she's looking for Thrawn, the master of Morgan Elsbeth, the woman that she duels. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it's not about Thrawn, but it is about Thrawn.
It is, though. And so, like, I think we're going to see Ahsoka and something to lead up to her show.
We might, I'm guessing we're going to see Sabine in live action. Because Sabine is going on that trip because Sabine, at the end of Rebels, the very final scene, Sabine and Ahsoka come up together, meet together, and they go out to find Ezra. Mm. And if they're searching for Ezra, they're searching for Thrawn at the same time. So I don't think we're going to see Ahsoka because we're going to get her own show this year sometime, probably this summer. And so I don't think they're going to, like, ruin that with a cameo or having her involved. I think they want to
get 2 Ahsoka episodes of.
No, we'll probably get Book of Boba Fett episodes this season to make up for the ones from Boba Fett.
I don't know if I want that. We're for sure seeing Boba because he goes to Tatooine in the trailer. Remember he goes and gets R5. And what's her name?
That's
like,
right.
May the Force be with you.
Pelgi, whoever her name is, Pelly.
So we are gonna see we're going to Tatooine at some point because I don't think that IG-11 droid's gonna work, or maybe she goes there to get the pieces for IG-11. I don't know.
Well, he has to get that part for IG. So
didn't what's his name say where he can find that part though?
I don't know. He said that if I find the part, bring it to you, can you fix it? And I'm like, yeah, we can fix it. So I think he's gonna go get that part from the Jawas probably because he always gets stuff from Jawas. But yes, Purrgil and Thrawn, space whales, they did that as a tease, and I want us to say we're gonna see Sabine in live action.
That'd be cool. I mean, it makes sense. She's a Mandalorian too.
Yeah. So, and if he's uniting all the different clans of Mandalore to bring them back, like in this season, you know, she's of
she
clan.
Had the sword the last time, didn't she? No.
Clan wrench. Well, Sabine did have the Darksaber. Gave it to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan lost it to Moff Gideon. And now Din has it. So,
we'll find out when we fully break down. But someone's depressed. Someone's straight up depressed.
Yes. So, yes, I love the Purrgil.
No, I when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, space whales. I'm pretty pumped too.
It was pretty cool. I like how they showed the scale of it too when they zoomed out. Look at hyperspace. Multiple. It's usually just like, you know, a narrow space that you're going through, just big enough for your ship, kind of.
Yeah.
but they zoomed out to show like a bigger thing, and there was a giant one. Well, the N1 was this little speck in the middle, basically. So,
and also when I first saw him like looking, I was like, oh, he's gonna get like seasick or space sick or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
because you can get hyper sickness.
Yeah, and it can go crazy or whatever. But I guess.
But it's Grogu. Don't work.
And
I'm
apparently,
pretty sure Din Djarin was sleeping.
And apparently, the Grogu's thing is connected by a tunnel to the front cockpit because he just crawls down, which we were wondering like how that works. So I guess it's connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get out of hyperspace and they are back at Navarro. Obviously, like we always gotta go back to Navarro, and it's booming.
It's popping.
It
looks different.
You know, way different. Many times we've gotten the question if we could move somewhere to a planet. You know, if this keeps going on, yep, like I might forget Naboo. I might be going to Navarro.
Well, wait. Wait, because we've seen Navarro in the trailer.
Well, they'll take it's not going to fall. They're going to take out the pirates, but yeah, I think it's just booming. There's like all kinds of food. There's all kinds of vendors. There's tourists
hanging out.
Yeah, before for season 1, they were in cages getting eaten. Like now they're free to hang out in trees. And so we've come to the middle of this town where we see the IG-11 shrine, which was from season 1. And so we knew this was in the trailer, so it wasn't a surprise. But okay, cool. We get to see the actual.
We pointed it out.
Yep, we get to see close up on it, and it's him admiring. And hey, do you remember your friend? And Grogu doesn't really. He just looks at it. He doesn't acknowledge. Like, I thought he should have like waved, like hey, and then realize that he's not alive. But while he's there, High Magistrate, Grief Karga. They call him High Magistrate, not just Magistrate. Yeah. So he comes in and hey, Mando, like they said you were back, but I didn't believe him. And then so he has like this big garb on, and he has 2 little droids carrying his.
So silly.
I thought it was funny. Like
when I saw him, like, dude, is he getting married?
I don't know, it was a bit much that he had.
It was a lot.
But it was so funny. But he's like, hey, come in my office, let's catch up, blah blah blah. And so Karga, he's just like talking about how we're booming, we're now part of the trade, the Hydian way, like the trade thing, like we're a main hub, like we're out there mining in like the asteroids out there, like we're making a lot of money, we're in a good spot, blah blah blah. And he's like, you can move, I got the spot right over here for you, you can move in, you can settle down, blah blah blah, and make all kinds of money. And while this is happening, Grogu is using the Force to spin himself.
The chair. So funny. It's like a kid, dude.
Like, and you know, the funny thing is, I didn't notice that that's what he was doing till like at the end of when Mando like grabbed the chair and stopped him. Like, oh, he was spinning himself because it was still spinning. Because I thought they just walked by and Mando or something just like spun it.
Oh no, I noticed it right away because I can hear the.
I didn't notice it right away. Yeah. So. But it was funny because then you see like his hand is out and he's just like doing it, and then he uses the Force to get a space M&M, which is,
or was it an M&M or was it a Reese's Pieces? It was all the orange Reese's Pieces.
Nah, it was pretty red, so I thought it was like more of an M&M.
Well,
Reese's Pieces, they're
on my screen was orange, so I don't know.
Yeah, upgrade your screen to a LG C2.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the right color, but on my screen it was orange.
It was I was like, he's using the Force now, so he's more comfortable with using the Force. So it's like he didn't just stop using it. Right, he didn't stop using it when he left Mando or left Luke.
Yeah.
So he's using it. So I'm guessing that's going to be. We're going to see him use more of the Force, like, on a regular basis. Like, I've seen a trailer, he Force pushes one of those, like, monster things. So,
yep.
His force abilities are going to be probably important to certain things that happen. So be interesting to see how that happens. But Mando's like, no, I can't move in. Like I'm here in business. I got stuff I got to take care of. And while this is happening, one of the droids comes in. You got this high magistrate cargo. You're you got there's people here for you. There's pirates. And so, okay, cool. Pirates. I heard pirates. Oh, Hondo. I don't know. But now that, oh, wait, we saw him in the trailer. And so they're trying to get drinks at the bar, which is now the school. So they converted the bar into the school, which if you go back and watch when he returns to Navarro in season 2, it looks like the bar just cleared out of bar tables and stuff. So,
well, because Grogu went to that school for a little bit,
just for a day while he was talking with Cara Dune and Grief, and
he went on a mission, didn't
your boy, the Mythrol,
Mythrol,
the blue fish-looking guy that you hate.
Yeah, I don't.
That was when they go back and they destroy that Imperial outpost, and there's like the tubes of clones or something cloned. We don't know. Maybe it was like early.
Whatever happened to him, the Mythrol?
He was fine. He was back on the planet. I guess we didn't see him.
What if he would have been that guy that came in? Oh, I would have been pissed.
That was so funny.
If he would have been like,
or if he was the pirate king.
No, that would have my view on this episode would have changed 100%. I'll tell you guys that right now.
But yeah, the pirates, their main guy, his name is Vane. He's a Nikto species, and so he's kind of like the head of that group, I guess, that was down there trying to get drinks. And Cargo's like, nope, this is a school now. Like you can come back to my office. We can talk things through and have drinks up there, but this is a school. And they're like, no, we want drinks now.
Because apparently their
captain
owns, help buy it or something.
Something like he got a treasure, and Karga got half the profits from that,
and or something made like the that. Bar, or
and
something.
made the bar, or whatever. So
something like that.
So like they're probably involved on that mission to extract this treasure or something, and they said like we murdered, for money for you, like we did all this stuff for you, and you're not gonna give us a drink in the bar that we built, basically. Mm-hmm. And so then they got a standoff where they're got their pistols out ready to do. And Grief Karga, he's faster. He's faster. Yep. He was not. He doesn't think that he's always safe, so he's got his gun on him, blaster. So he's able to go faster than the pirate and shoots the gun out of his hand,
which I thought was cool. Like he was that fast where he shot the gun out. He didn't kill him. Like he straight up shot the gun out of his hand.
And it also shows that he's no longer like a guild guy. He's basically the mayor of a town. Like
he doesn't want any part of.
He doesn't want to start killing people when they come in. Like he's got a good thing going. So, but then the other pirates, they go grab their weapons, and Mando, he's standing there the whole time, like watching it, just keeping an eye on things, and he shoots 4 of them dead. And so they're all dead except for the main guy. Mm-hmm. And they leave. Okay, cool. And so then Mando and Grief.
Mando's like, why did you leave him alive? He's like, well, he's going to go and tell all the other pirates not to come here because we're not part of the guild anymore.
Right.
Which is just dumb.
Right.
When he said, like, you're dumb. That's not how that works.
Well, either way, even if he killed that guy,
he was still would have came.
The king pirate would be like, where's my guys? Like, I just sent him down here. But then the two start talking again. So he's like, oh, what happened to Cara Dune? And he's like, well, when she brought in Moff Gideon, when they captured him, like, she got recruited into special forces. Like, she got into leadership there or something. So she got promotion. It's like, I don't have a marshal for the town. And he's like, you should be the marshal. You'd be a great marshal. And like, no.
That was like his whole pitch. I was like, here's this place. You can have this place. But he was trying to get at, like, I need protection.
Right. So he's like, nope, I got my own stuff I got to do. And we find out that Moff Gideon was turned into the the New Republic and had to face a war tribunal. So it was just to face his war crimes or whatever. But do you think we're going to see him again?
Yeah, he's getting out.
You think he's getting out? You think he's like his faithful are going to break him out or what?
Something.
Because like it'd be kind of hard to escape for his status. Like he wasn't just some like thief. Like he's like a war criminal. Like they're not gonna. It's not gonna be easy to rescue him or break him out. So it's like,
how weren't there other people that Mando went and got out from this like a prison?
Yeah, but that was that ship that this was like unmanned. There's this one guard on there.
I feel like he's gonna get out. I don't see why we wouldn't.
But like they're not gonna put him in that kind of ship. That's the thing.
True, but I'm just saying
he's gonna be more heavily guarded. They're not gonna like for his stat because all the people in that prisoner ship, they're just regular criminals.
That's true. I don't know.
They weren't high class.
Also, like his acting, like he's such a good actor. Like they didn't kill him for a reason. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Like I don't see how we wouldn't get him at some point. Maybe not this season, maybe season 4, but like I just don't know how we're not gonna see him again because he's such a good actor. I don't.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense why we wouldn't.
So who knows?
But you know what? I want to make a really quick prediction here.
Yeah.
I think I know who they're gonna get as the Marshal though.
Hondo.
No.
Oh.
No. The Marshal that was saved at Book of Boba.
Oh, him?
I think he's gonna old Mando.
Cobb Vanth.
He's gonna old Mando.
And he's gonna be his
and
cyborg. What do they call him? A mod? He's a mod now. Remember that? Because he was in the back to tank, but then they had the mod guy, so he's gonna have like a fake arm or something.
Yeah, and he's gonna owe Mando something or Boba something. Boba's like, well, I have a Marshal for you. You can just have him go there. So after they go and clear out all the Mandalorians, clear out the pirates and stuff, they're gonna get that Marshal to go and be the Marshal there. That's my prediction.
Do you think Mando's gonna give him some Mandalorian armor, so that he can be like he was before?
No, because he was doing good without it, and now he has he's half mod, so he probably has a gun built to his hand or something.
He's like a B2 super battle droid. Just puts his arm straight out. I don't know. That's a good theory.
I just think it makes sense because the end of Book of Boba, he was getting revived, even though everyone didn't really understand why. But this makes sense. Like, who else needs a Marshal? They're all tied through Boba and Mando. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah, and like you said, we're going back to Tatooine anyway, so
yeah,
it's possible. Solid theory, but we'll see. You never know. But it probably have to be someone we've.
It has to be someone we know,
right? So,
and a character that's can do it. Like it can't be like Ahsoka or you know what I mean? Like
right.
I don't know. So that's my prediction.
Cool. Well, we should take a little commercial break. We're already 53 minutes in. We need a break because I always forget sometimes. Sure. But if you haven't been around for 2 years, you missed out on one of the coolest things that ever happened on Empire Radio last summer.
True.
We had a fan-made fan fiction through the voicemails that we mentioned earlier this episode. And it's like an hour and a half's worth of voicemails of the story put together. And so that was last summer, but we are doing a special project to illustrate those voicemails so that we can have like a mini movie kind of this. And so let's take a little commercial and let's listen to our super fan Lucy to see how you can be involved in this illustration project.
Hey everyone, Fictional Lucy here, and I'm pleased to tell you that I'm just one of the many characters created in the original Star Wars audio drama some Empire Radio fans made. The story of my friends and I, called the Voicemail Cinematic Universe, played out through 86 voicemails. The problem is, our adventures are only audio, unless you give us a hand. The goal is to have an illustration for every voicemail provided by you listeners. we're looking for any type of media. Digital art, Legos, painting, photography, anything at all. And don't worry if you're not professional. If you want to see the drama we go through come to life, just click on the link in the description that takes you directly to a Google Doc. It'll guide you through the whole process of creating and submitting your art. Colonel Doss, Will, Darth Daddy, and all us VCU characters can't wait to see what you can do. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, that fiendish Sith Lord, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Yep,
it.
yep. So, like she said, there's 87 voicemails that need to be illustrated. And we're at about 30% done or so. So, if you are an artist of any kind, please help us out. In the description, there's a link right there for you to click on. The VCU Illustration Project brings you to Google Docs. There's timestamps for all the voicemails, so you can go listen to the whole story unfold, and you can click ones that are still not marked up. We have a line through the ones that have been illustrated. So please get her done. It'll be really fun.
Yeah. I mean, you can even just literally just pull pictures of Star Wars and edit them, and
yeah, if you're good with Photoshop and make some cool stuff.
Photoshop stuff. It doesn't have to be
and
you don't have to physically draw anything. I was even thinking about doing some of my own Photoshop just to get some of the stuff done. But I don't know if I will have much time.
And so I also said, we've announced EmpireCon, so a fan meetup that we're having in August. And I said, hey, if we can get this illustrated by EmpireCon, we might have it on the big screen in a movie theater, because we already have a movie theater rented to watch Star Wars. We might, if it gets all illustrated and I have time to finish putting all that together, I might just have it put on a Blu-ray disc and we'll bring it to the movie theater and we'll watch this premiere at the big screen. So, but it's all up to you guys. Get her done. Draw something, paint something. Addie sent in a while ago a stop motion Lego one, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so that's pretty fun. So,
also, while we're on this topic, should we just talk about EmpireCon real quick? We didn't really talk about it at the beginning of the show.
Sure. So, August 18th through 20th of 2023 this year, here in Minnesota, EmpireCon. And so we're doing a fan hangout for a 3-day thing, Friday night through Sunday afternoon. We have different events planned, and so if you want to check that out, you got to join the Discord, because all the signups and all the information and discussion is through the Discord. And the reason we're doing that is because we want you to get to know the people you're going to hang out with. It'll be a lot more fun rather than just showing up and not knowing anyone. So get connected, check it out. Tickets for that are through the website that we have on there, and it's $70 or $50, and that's going to cover almost everything for the weekend except for the sum of the meals you have to provide for yourself, but they'll cover almost everything. So it comes with $70 comes with a t-shirt, and the rest pays for some of the food and the rental spaces that we have and all that jazz. So we're not really making any money off of it. We're just covering the cost of what we're doing. And there's the $50 ticket if you don't want a t-shirt. So we think it's a fair price, because it's going to pay for stuff you'd be paying for anyway to do stuff on a weekend at a con or whatever. So if you haven't seen us for 2 years and you're like, man, I missed those guys, well, get reconnected with us for the rest of this year and through the summer, and come to EmpireCon, Minnesota. So it'll be exciting. But yeah. All right, back to Mandalorian. So Grief Karga asks, why are you actually here, Mando? You're here for something. What do you need? Whatever you need, we'll get it for you. And he's like, I need him. And he looks up and it's IG-11. I need him back. I need a droid that can help me go through, that I trust, that can help go through Mandalore with. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't see that coming. And I didn't realize it until he pointed, he wanted him that it was different colors metal. And so it's like, oh, some of this is the actual droid, and it's just they added fake limbs to make it look like him, so to rebuild him. So and then they take it down. It's just one arm and two legs with the body missing, in the statue. And so they bring him inside, and he's like, Mando's working on him to try and restore his power. And I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I did too. I was like,
there's no way he's going to turn him on and everything's going to be nice.
Well, because also we see him get R5 in the trailer. So at some point he does get, like, we don't see IG-11. So it's just like, I kind of figured it wasn't going to work. And then when he was like trying to power him up, like, oh, he's going to be bad, I bet. And sure enough, they jump him, get him running again, and he's back to the original state he was in.
So when he wakes up, he starts reciting the guild protocol. I'm like, this is not good. And then his eyes turn red. But like, that was just scary, the whole scene. That was like really scary. So he just started chasing him with one arm, like trying to kill Grogu, and Mando's shooting him, and it's not doing anything. Which is weird because he used that same blaster
to drop him right away.
Yeah, and one shot headshot, but here he can't.
Oh, I didn't even think about that until you just pointed that out.
And so,
like, yeah, in the end of episode 1, he shoots that thing right away.
Yeah, so, and the stupidest thing in the whole episode is when he throws Grogu the Grief Karga. I thought that was kind of stupid. Here, catch. Like,
well, because
like, I get it, but it looks stupid because, like, the way they cut it, like, Grief, like he runs like excited, like, yeah, what? Like, he takes a couple steps forward, and then you just see him throw him, and then he catches him. It was just kind of looked weird, but like, it was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then another droid tips over the bust of Grief Karga on the droid, and it smashes his head. So would you say that IG-11 got busted? Woo! I've been playing on that joke all day. Do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, but I even like what Mando said, though. He's like, well, that's a good use for your head.
Yeah, good heads up, whatever, yeah. But like, yeah.
Will in the chat, get out. You know.
So, like, okay, this whole thing was, I get it, but it's stupid that we have to, like, wait for him to join.
I think we're gonna wait this whole season.
That's why it's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be like season 1 where he doesn't return to the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, it would have been cool him fixing him this episode. Like, that was the main thing, that he got that done. But also, how is he supposed to transport IG-11?
He needs a new ship. I've been saying that.
So
there's no bathroom. He's going through hyperspace with no bathroom. Doesn't make any sense. He got a
tube.
Yeah, he has a catheter hooked up.
Something like that. So,
oh, it sounds painful.
But I don't know. Like, I think he's going to get a Mandalorian ship that does gauntlets. Yeah. But
yeah, because there's newer trailers that we didn't break down, like clip trailers, and he's flying a different ship.
I didn't watch any of those.
Yeah,
but
spoilers. He's flying a different ship at some point.
So
I think he goes to Mandalore, and he is able to get another ship, and he puts his ship inside that ship.
Maybe.
Because I don't think unless he goes to Tatooine next and he doesn't go straight to Mandalore, which I don't think that's the path we're going down.
I don't know. I feel like he's going to go to Mandalore or Tatooine first.
You think?
I don't think they're going to go straight to the point and bring us right to Mandalore next episode.
In that case, next episode is Tatooine then.
Right. So I think he's going to get R5, but like, how is R5 going to help him on Mandalore? Why would he?
Okay, but what if he just takes R5 and then he takes the good chip in R5 and then put it in IG-11 because R5 is useless? You know how many people would be mad though if like we got R5 back all this time later and then we end up just junking his body and using his internals? Where I don't think people would be happy about that.
People would be mad, but it's like, why would he go all the way to Tatooine just to get that piece from?
Get the piece from the Jawas,
right? But like,
I don't know. I don't know.
But it did so IG-11. So that's a very, very old model, because in the original trilogy we get IG-88. So this is 77 editions later, and so he probably needs an old piece, which could be R5. That's why he was so janky in the original trilogy, because he's so old. So maybe there's a similar old piece that he needs. Like, he can't just use a new piece.
R2 technically older than R5?
I don't know. I don't know how old R5 is. So,
well, if you're going by numbers, 2 is before 5.
R2, R5. I don't know. Droids have weird numbers also. Like,
well, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, but do you think the IG-11 model is different than the IG-88 model, or are they all? They're just printed, and he was the 11th one.
I think 88 would have better technology than 11.
Oh.
And because, well, I was gonna say Babu Frick. We don't know for sure if it's Babu Frick.
But, I don't think it is.
So anyway, we'll get to that. So now, he brings Carver's like, well, we got some of the best droidsmiths in the galaxy came out here, and it's an Anzelian shop. So Anzelians are Babu Frick's species, and so there's 3 of them down in a little shop, and
it was the best scene.
They didn't give names. No. But the main one that was working and telling him, no, this thing is broke, it looked the most like...
And it sounded...
Well, that's just a species.
True. I was dying, dude, because like I've said in previous episodes and stuff that like Babu Frick voice sounds exactly like my wife's grandma's voice. And I don't like, this might be dumb, but I was almost getting teared up in the watch party because she passed away this last year, and it made me think of her and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is kind of sad. And I know as soon as I watch this episode with Steph, she's probably going to cry in that part, thinking of her grandma. So It was kind of, it was my favorite part of the episode for that reason. It was like, oh, yeah.
Right. But yes, so the main one had the same like mustache as Babu Frick, while the other ones had like different facial hair. So like, I in my heart, until they say it's not, I'm gonna believe it's Babu Frick. But
yeah, me too.
We don't know for sure. But it was just funny, him talking like, this is broke, can't fix, like.
And like, and the whole scene was hilarious because they're like arguing in their language, and then he was like speaking like broken English or whatever, and then and Grief is like speaking, he's like translating, but like at some points you know what he's saying. He's like, right. I get it. It was a really well done scene. I thought it was really funny.
And it's all in their shop is super small, so it's like Mando is sitting in there like
cross-legged
with his head down,
hunched over.
And trying to barter with him, like, if I get you the part where you fix, oh yeah, no problem, like, I'll fix, blah blah blah, no broke, blah blah blah. So now here's a big question for you. I asked this in the Discord, and I got everyone's answers there, but was Grogu gonna eat that Anzelian?
No, he's gonna hug him. That was his pet.
He was gonna eat that thing,
dude.
He ate frogs bigger than that guy, dude.
True, but Mando said, "Oh, he thinks he's a pet." So I'm gonna go dude. That's what Din Djarin said. I'm not gonna say
Grogu is gonna eat that little guy, dude. I'm sorry. That was definitely gonna happen, dude.
That part was funny too. Grogu was trying to get him.
It would have been
free snack. Okay, chill.
Like, the thing is, it would have been so good if, like, the first time where he like breaks him up, like he looks away,
he
he's
has
yelling
one
at
in the mouth,
and he looks back and he's like, doesn't have him in his mouth, but he's holding him above his mouth. Like,
no, dude, it would have been funny though if he had him in his mouth and his 8 legs and like everything's kicking, and then he's like, spit that out,
and he rips him out. But
yeah,
like,
everyone in the chat saying definitely gonna eat him. All right, fine. I was the only one that was not thinking like that.
You just can't trust that little baby Yoda, which we don't know his species name yet. Do you think we're ever gonna get a species name?
Nope.
No. Do you think we're ever gonna see more of his kind?
No.
No.
No, because like his kind is the Jedi. Like
I'm saying his species. You know what I mean?
No, I know, but like, no, I don't think so. I think it's always that is one thing that like I feel like George Lucas always never answered that question, and I think Dave Filoni is gonna honor that and just never answer that question and just leave it like that.
I still wish we could find like a planet of that species though, because he came from somewhere, and
obviously, and
I
like
don't want to believe that Yoda and Yaddle made him. Like,
no,
it's possible, but like
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Because
I'm leaning more towards like, I don't know, maybe he was like an early clone or something like that.
I don't think. I think he was actually just born as normal.
Yeah.
Clone would just be a weird.
The timeline wouldn't make sense because he'd be way too old. Because he's like what? Well, now he's like what?
He's the same age as Anakin. So the big theory is that Grogu and Anakin were both born to be the chosen one.
Okay, I don't.
But Anakin was the one that was able to grow and advance and stuff. So
that would have been a long wait for the chosen one.
But
an extra 100+ years than the chosen one.
But yes, so Mando leaves.
If we get a new movie that's after episode 9, do you think Grogu is going to be in it?
I don't know. I think that they chose Yoda's species for a reason because they know it can live 1,000 years. So I'm sure at some point they're going to have Grogu as an adult, which is going to be could be a couple hundred years from now. So they could reboot him as a standalone something where he's like 200 years old and he's just honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Grogu becomes the Mandalore. Like because he the first Jedi Mandalorian was the one who invented the Darksaber. And somehow like Grogu could fulfill that spot again as a Force-sensitive Mandalorian that can wield the Darksaber, and he could rule for 1,000 years or 500 years. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that direction, but it would be hard to establish that just because he's so young.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do that for another 100 years or 150 years or something. So, I don't know. I think there's more to Grogu to the story than I think we realize. He's just not that ball and chain that I see him as.
Yeah, as much as Jeremiah is kind of over his character, I don't think we're getting rid of him anytime soon.
Right. And so there could be a time when there's a Grogu series or a Grogu movie trilogy or something where he's an adult doing his thing,
or a book series.
Yes, please make it a book series so I don't have to watch it.
But we're gonna read it and break it down here on it.
We gotta do that second Thrawn trilogy.
Well, they need to stop making shows.
Well, I'm saying we need to start reading them because we need to get read before Ahsoka series comes out. If that comes out over the summer, I gotta get that done. So we gotta keep that in mind. I keep thinking I gotta start reading that trilogy. So
could have finished the whole thing when you were on your little break.
No, I was watching Mandalorian, dude. I don't got time for a book. But yes, anyway, Mando and Grogu leave, and we get the lines from the trailer where you have to learn to navigate the galaxy. It's not just about Mandalorians aren't just about fighting. You have to learn how to navigate the galaxy. So he's showing them all the gadgets on the dashboard of the N1 starfighter. And right when he points at one of the maps, he says, "This is," and then it starts beeping, and your enemy proximity thing, which it's interesting that it can calculate who is an enemy rather than just showing someone as someone showing up on a map, which is weird to me, but whatever. So the pirates, 3 pirate ships.
I wonder if they're loaded. It shows up like if there's weapons on board,
like kind of like when X-wings open up their wings, like so maybe. but whatever. It is what it is. So 3 pirates. One of them is that Vane guy, and there's additionally 3. They start the chase, and then 3 more coming. So it's Mando versus 6. And this scene was really good.
It was really good.
I really liked how it looks great. It was movie quality. Like, it didn't look cartoony or anything. And this is like our first like major space battle, I think. We've seen him chased a few times, but and then there was like the end of season 2. End of season 2, there was stuff with like the Slave One and stuff, but it was just ships in empty space. But this was in an asteroid field, basically zipping around things, and I really liked how Mando was able to disappear, and then he slowly picks him off, coming out and disappearing again. Like, I thought that was really...
Yeah, it was really cool.
Really cool. Like, the first one was my favorite, just because you see the guy going, he goes behind an asteroid, and you see an explosion. Then you see Mando fly out and then go hiding behind another thing. I thought it was really cool. And so, that was really done well. And then he's down to one guy, which is the Vane guy, and he brings him to the Pirate King Goran Shard, like his flagship. And that was a cool ship.
Yeah, it has a rammer in front of it.
And it didn't look like what I would think like a pirate ship would look like. If you've watched Star Wars Resistance, there's pirates in there. And they have a really cool looking pirate ship. And so, like, that's something you would think it was more like a pirate. If they're going to make this Pirate King look like a seaweed looking thing, like, they could have made a ship that looked more piratey. But
yeah,
that's whatever. But I still think it was a cool ship. It had like all these turrets on it that were manned, kind of like World War II. What is it? B-52 bomber ones or whatever it was. Like, those ships had those turrets on there that pivoted all around. I thought that was really cool. So definitely going to see the ship a lot more. Like, it's definitely going to be a thing that I'm sure Mando's going to have to take out and blow up on his own or something like that. But yeah, it's cool. And so then they're about to kill him, and then he pushes his sublight speed button, and they escape. So easy peasy lemon squeezy, as the kids would say. So, and he had all kinds of different species under his thing. So it wasn't like Hondo, who had just Weequays. Like, this was like all different kinds of species. There was a bunch of Trandoshans. There was Weequays. There was like this wild boar looking guy. There is
a lot.
Corin or whatever it's called. So just like pirates, they just look from all different ways of life, just doing the same thing. So it's pretty cool. And so that's that. And so then we get to the final kind of scene setting for the episode. Mando comes to the planet Kalavala. And so it kind of sounded like a Viking, like Valhalla. It's like a Viking mythology thing. So it's Kalevala. He says part of the Mandalorian system, and they go to a Mandalorian castle. I thought it was cool looking castle. Like, I'd live there. So this was in the trailer. We're like trying to figure out like the rain, and then he was wet, and then he was like talking about, okay, this is the same thing. So this was that scene from the trailer. So we're already like half this trailer has already been used up. And so he comes to his castle, and now when he's landing, the music really reminded me of the Loki theme song. I heard it and I paused it. I'm like, what is this? It took like 10 minutes trying to like remember where that song was from. And so I was like, sounds like the Loki theme, which is really cool. And so Mando, he goes in, and Bo-Katan is sitting on the throne all the way at the end by herself, sulking, all sad,
depressed.
And so the reason Din Djarin goes there is like, okay, I want to join you to help take back Mandalore, because that was her plan, is to go back to Mandalore and restore it or whatever. But so he's on that, and she's like wanted him before to come help, but like last season he's like, no, I got my own thing. But here he's like, all right, let's go do it. And she's like, no. All my people left me after I lost the Darksaber. Like, cause they collected all those like Imperial ships to like have their own Mandalorian fleet and weapons and all that stuff. And you're like, nope, they all left me. I'm not a worthy leader for them apparently. So obviously she's depressed because she cares about Mandalore, wants to restore her people, reunite her people, but they all abandoned her. And she's like, well, you have the Darksaber. You just wave that around. They'll follow whatever you say.
Yep.
And so they have this argument, basically. And so what they should have done, they should have just sat down, cold, rainy day, and had a hot beverage. Don't you think, Drew?
100%.
And what better way to get a hot beverage than to buy some Wesley Andrews coffee or tea from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea, our sponsor for today. And yes, this is the same sponsor we had 2 years ago if you're joining us for the same like again. But yes,
consistent sponsor.
You can still get a really good, high quality coffee for a discounted price. So let's take a listen to that right now.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And yes, that is our old friend, Andrew, doing those commercials. So if you missed Andrew, go check out his YouTube channel, that K-pop guitarist on YouTube. Good stuff. But yes, so Mando and Bo-Katan are kind of at a standstill, and she expressed how all the different factions that came up created division, which led to Mandalore being shattered. And so, like, I'm still kind of like, I don't understand Bo-Katan as much as I wish I did. Because I feel, because I feel like she was one way in Clone Wars, one way in Rebels, and she's different here too. So it's like 3 different things. And obviously, it's 3 different time things. Like Clone Wars, obviously, that's one context.
She's gone through a lot.
She's gone through a lot, but it's like I don't understand what exactly she wants. I know she wants to rule Mandalore, but I feel like her motivation isn't. I don't understand. Like sometimes I feel like, oh yes, she wants to reunite Mandalore because she loves her people, but other times I feel like she's just a terrible human being and is not nice and is doing it for selfish power reasons. So it's like, I don't know.
You think she's gonna be one of the antagonists in the show?
Antagonist? I don't know. She kind of is. She's kind of like a neutral, semi-antagonist.
Because she was talking a lot of smack about his cult, is what she called it. Yeah,
I feel like because she's like, well, where were you guys when we needed you, kind of. Mm-hmm. Which we know they were on a moon of Concordia. I think that's what the armorer said. And so they weren't there. And maybe if they were there, they could. But when the Empire showed up, to bomb them. Like they had
matter.
it was so many ships.
Didn't matter.
Like I still want to know when that happened, when the purge happened. I still believe it happened before the Empire fell. Like it was during the original trilogy. A lot of people think it was after the Empire fell, but I don't think that makes sense. And so, like, I want to know that story. I want to know more exactly what happened there, but I don't know. So who knows? But Mando is like, well, I'm going back because I need to bathe in the streams of the living water. And she says, like, where they're. She said they're under the Civic Center in the city of Sandari, which is the main domed city that we see in Clone Wars and in Rebels.
That's where Ahsoka fights Maul in that city?
Yes. So that's just the main one that we kind of only see. And so that's the bombed city that we see in the trailer, I'm assuming, when he goes there. And so under that city, there's where the mines where they would mine Beskar, and they found living waters down there. So
and the water like moved the metal or something, like they used it as like a.
They probably
it wasn't as spiritual as their cult.
Yeah, she's like, it's just a mine and there's water down there, but it's symbolic. Basically, it's all it really matters. Is it symbolic? It's not.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter that he's just gonna go do what he has to do,
and so
make sure that the plant's not poisoned.
Right. So, and it's interesting because like we've seen the underground of that city, because that's where we see like Maul hanging out when Ahsoka chases after him down into the. So it's like we didn't see that part, but like it's probably even further down, like literally under the city, in where it says caves. And so,
do you think that person in the trailer that Grogu pushes, do you think that was actually just a Mandalorian, but from all the pollution and stuff from the bombing and stuff, it got warped?
No, I think it's just a native species to that planet that lived underground, because they had maybe the Mandalorians pushed them underground when they took over the planet, like or something or whatever. So
I just thought that should be interesting if it's like pollution.
Right. That'd be nuts if it was people that got deformed by poison.
Yeah.
Which I doubt is how they did it. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, because like I'm hoping that it happens sooner than later. I don't want it to wait till the end. That'd be terrible. To like finally get to Mandalore the last 2 episodes and then like we get left on a cliffhanger. Like I want like a different cliffhanger than if the cliffhanger is about like the pirates. Like if, like I said, like the pirates is going to be the main thing for like the last half of the season, like that'd be fine, I guess, as long as they have a strong. Because then it's Mando. He unites a lot of Mandalorians, and then they have to fight this massive.
I think it's going to be like what we get in most trailers. The first few episodes are going to be everything in the trailer. And then after that, it's going to be all new stuff.
Basically, yeah.
So like the first 3 episodes, I think what's going to happen is next week, we're going to go Tatooine. And then we're going to go back and get the pirates out of there. And then the episode 3 is going to be Mandalore. And then after that, it's going to be like potentially like Thrawn and.
Oh, we're not going to do Thrawn.
Not Thrawn, like, but like more stuff like that. Like, I don't think the pirates are going to be the big antagonist. I hope not. That'd be kind of lame.
But that would be weird that they would set this up like that. Like where.
I mean, yeah, but.
If they don't make the pirates a major aspect of the season, it'd be stupid just to bring them in just for like, so he fights them once in the second episode of the season and then they're done with it. Like.
Yeah, I guess.
And like the fact that the Mandalorians show up to fight him. Go say that it's like one, Mando convinces these people to come, and it's such a big threat that he needs the Mandalorians to come help. So it's like it takes time to build up to that kind of fight, and so
that's true.
I'm hoping that it's done in a bigger manner, just because there's not really an antagonist. There's not really a someone to fight against. Like, you got Bo-Katan, but she's not really. She's just by herself. Like, there's not much she can do. Like, he's not waging war against Bo-Katan. It's not like a Mandalorian civil war. There's not like. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
And Moff Gideon, he's in prison, so I was like, he's not gonna necessarily be a threat like that. So there has to be a big bad, and I think it's these pirates, which is it's a weird came out of nowhere to be the enemy, but I think they can do it well. I think there's a strong start to the season. It's kind of more of a setup episode, but it's enough to like get excited about. So
oh yeah, I think it was a good episode.
Yeah. So we have 7 more episodes left. We still got Bad Batch going on right now. So tomorrow we'll be doing a breakdown of that episode.
Episode 11, right?
Yes. Episode 11. Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. Drew has not yet.
I have not.
It would be a fun discussion. So
yeah.
But let's go over some social media stuff and get out of here. So if you haven't been around for a while, or if you're new,
true,
you can get connected with us. Hello there. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far. Normally at the time we would do the voicemails, but since we only do voicemails once a week, we'll be doing that during Bad Batch most likely for the next month until Bad Batch is done at the end of the month, and then we'll just be doing Mandalorian where we'll do voicemails then. But for now, we'll be doing social media stuff. So in the description below, there's links.co/Empire Radio. It's a landing page for everything for us if you want to get connected. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So all these podcasts get recorded and get uploaded to YouTube. If you don't want to just listen, you just want to watch, see what we look like. You know, we're pretty. We got some beards and mustaches, and Drew has a nice,
pretty thick right now.
Yeah, yours is. And then Drew has all of his toys set up in the back. I just have my kitchen. But if you want to watch this on YouTube, check us out. Even if you don't even want to watch us all the time, just follow the subscribe button because it'd be nice to get more followers on YouTube.
Also, there's a lot of other stuff besides just these podcast episodes too. So if you prefer to listen, you could go over to our YouTube, subscribe anyways, because there's, like Jeremiah said, watch parties of the show, trailer breakdowns, reaction videos, toy hunts, sometimes vlogs. There's a lot of stuff over there. So you're going to want to make sure you go over to our YouTube channel anyways and subscribe.
Yep. And like we just mentioned, the watch parties that Drew's doing for The Mandalorian. So that's on YouTube, but he also does it live on Twitch. So, and we do these podcasts live on Twitch as well. So if you ever want to watch us live, like right away, if there's something you watch in an episode, like, oh, I want to hear what they have to say, watch us on Twitch. We'll be doing these Wednesday nights for now, usually around 8 p.m. Central Time. So that link is in that landing page as well. There's our fan email. There's the link for the VCU Illustration Project, which we mentioned earlier. And then we are part of a podcast network. Well, more than a podcast, it's an entertainment network. It's needlesslynerdy.com. And so there's all kinds of nerdy stuff on there, other podcasts, articles and stuff, just fun stuff. And so we're part of that. We've been part of that for a while, but over the last year and a half that we've been part of it, it's grown a lot. So there's a lot of different stuff you can check out there. I think that's everything. Anything else, Drew? Any more theories? Any thoughts?
No. Not any more than I already said.
All right.
I'm just excited for the Mandalorian to be back. And I'm excited for the show. And I'm also getting more and more pumped for the Ahsoka show now, too. That's coming closer, too. So.
Yep. Cool. Well, you have been listening to another Mandalorian-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.